everyone, welcome back to One Awesome Autistic. I'm Lee, I'm autistic. I post 2 videos a week on YouTube which are all about stuff to do with autism and also stuff to do with what it's like for me living as an autistic adult as well. If that's the type of content you like to watch, then hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and that way you'll get notified when I post my videos. And this week's video is going to be all about the type of financial benefits you can claim. Now obviously I'm in England, so it's mainly going to be about England as opposed to maybe the UK at large, because I'm not sure if other parts of the UK might do things slightly differently. My experience is obviously from living in England, particularly living in Derbyshire. From my own personal experience, that's all that I can talk about, but I want to talk about the 3 main benefits you can get if you are struggling financially, and in particular if you have some form of disability that is preventing you from working or working full time. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now the first one I wanted to talk about, because this one is the one that I feel is most beneficial to autistic people, and that is Employment and Support Allowance, also known as ESA. So I'll refer to it as ESA from now on. And this is a benefit that I personally get, and the reason why it's good to claim for it is because it's not means tested like a lot of benefits are. So if you live with somebody, you can still claim ESA. I currently don't live with somebody, but it was beneficial for me to get it because me and my boyfriend are obviously planning on moving in together this year, and therefore this won't get taken off me. You can also work somewhat while on ESA, but the more hours that you work, the more money that they'll take off you. This is something that I personally am going to be speaking to a work support colleague about, because I want to be going back into work at some point this year. Working from home but still work, so I need to know how many hours I need to be working to be able to afford to live and afford my half of the rent and bills and everything. So that's personally one that I claim, and ESA has 2 tiers to it, and you get put on the first tier when you first claim for it. Depending on your ability to work or not, you may go on to the second tier, which is more money per week, but that is all dependent on an assessment. So while you're waiting for the assessment, you get the first tier. You'll have your assessment. If they deem that you can work, even if it is with restrictions, then you'll stay on the first tier, and you will have to look for a job, but they will help you look for a job that will take into consideration anything that needs to be adapted for your needs. If you're deemed that you don't have to work, then they'll give you the higher tier, which is £111 a week. You will get that, and you won't need to go back to work. But you will be assessed after a year to see if that is still the situation. Now, if you are ill, you will need to provide fit notes from the doctor. Typically, unless it is a lifelong illness where you will never be able to go back to work, you may need to get a note every month, but this is completely free service from your GP under the NHS. So you're not having to pay for any of that, but you will have to send off those details. You'll have to post a letter off once a month, or do what I do, which I feel personally feels a bit safer, is I usually go into the job centre. I did before quarantine. I go into the job centre and they fill in all the information and send it off electronically. They will also photocopy the fit note for me, so that I have a copy for my records, and then they keep it and they destroy it after a month. So ESA is a really, really good one to actually claim. The second benefit that I just want to speak a little bit about, a lot of people will have heard of this recently with a lot of people being laid off through quarantine, and that is universal credit. But universal credit is means tested, so if you live with somebody, you may not qualify for universal credit, but if you live on your own, then you may qualify. And universal credit is a load of benefits clumped into one. You used to separately have to apply for job seekers and housing benefit and all things like that. These are now all lumped into universal credit, so they will work out how much rent you should be paying in your area, and that's how much they will give you. This might not cover your rent, like with me. Because I'm claiming ESA, they take that amount off the universal credit. So they're saying I can claim X amount, but I get ESA, so they take that off my universal credit. It all works out the same amount of money that I would get whether I was on ESA or not. You can get help applying for these benefits. If you contact your local council, there are benefit advocates that will help you fill out forms. The job centre also may be able to help you. All you have to do is basically ask. If the job centre can't help you, then they should be able to point you in the right direction. There's also Citizens Advice Bureau as well. They will help you filling in forms and all those sort of things, and they can provide an advocate for you as well. The third benefit I want to talk about is personal independent payment, also known as PIP. And PIP has a notorious bad reputation, but if you can, it is worth applying for it, particularly if you are ill, particularly if you are struggling financially, because PIP is like a couple £100 a month just for one aspect of it. There is the personal aspect and the mobility aspect of it as well. If you get both, then it can help cover a lot of your finances if you're struggling. Now, the reason why PIP is notoriously bad is because, like with somebody like me, I'm autistic. If you look at the questions on the PIP form, by definition of my diagnosis, I should qualify for at least some points. Even if it's not enough to get the full amount of PIP, even if it was, we're going to pay you £20 a week or something like that. But I applied for PIP and scored 0 points, and this was over a telephone assessment, so they never actually saw me in person or anything like that. With the help of my mum, I wrote a 6-page argument against why I shouldn't be getting 0 points, broke down everything they said, that basically somebody that has never met me, somebody that didn't assess me, turned around and said, you say you can't do these things, but I'm telling you you can, is basically the gist of the report that I was given. So I broke down the whole argument and provided evidence, provided details of my diagnosis, provided details of the medication that I'm on, and my mandatory reconsideration has come back recently, and I've still scored 0 points. I now have a month from the date of the letter, which the letter was dated the 16th of July, and I didn't receive it until a week after it was dated. So I'm already down to, I've only got 3 weeks to sort this out, and the court that does the next stage, which is tribunal, has to receive it within a month of the dated letter. So realistically, I've got 2 weeks to sort this out, and during quarantine it's making it a lot harder. Luckily, I've gotten some help from online, so hopefully I'll be able to get that sorted next week, and I will have to take it to tribunal. Tribunal can take a long time to get to, but if I win it, I get back paid. If I don't, then I suppose I'm no worse off. I'll think of some way to get by financially. But PIP is meant to be there to help anybody that is disabled, to make their life easier. It is meant to help pay for anything that you need. As an autistic person who was recently diagnosed, there are a lot of things that would help me out. Things like the noise cancelling headphones emit a frequency. They're not cheap. I can't afford them. I need a weighted blanket to help me with anxiety and being able to sleep at night, which is something that I struggle with. I wake up during the night, I can't get to sleep, I wake up early, those sorts of things. And also to help me with the anxiety side as well. That would be a big help. Weighted blankets are not cheap. That's not something I can afford, but PIP is meant to help pay for these things to make my life easier, but they're currently saying that there's nothing wrong with me, regardless of an official diagnosis. You have to be prepared to have a fight on your hands if you want to apply for PIP. If you think that having a rejection from PIP is going to affect your mental health in any way, your emotional health or anything like that, then maybe don't apply for it, or get somebody to help you with it, and get a support system around you as well to help with your emotional support during this time, because it really is a kick in the teeth. when you receive 0 points and yet you are really struggling day to day. I've seen a lot of people talking about the same situations online where they've received 0 points, and some people have gotten more points through mandatory reconsideration and end up being awarded PIP. Some people have been given 0 points still and then had to go to tribunal, but then have won at tribunal. Still don't expect to win at tribunal, just in case. I'm not keeping my hopes up, just in case. I'm just seeing it as, if I win, great. If I lose, I'll figure it out. So those are the 3 main benefits that you can apply for if you are struggling financially, if you are struggling with your health, if you have a job where you think that you cannot afford to come out of, but that job is extremely detrimental to your health, then these are ones to look into, whether it's a long-term solution or a short-term solution. It just may help make your life a bit easier. There may be other things out there to apply for, but these are just ones that I have personal knowledge with, and they're the 3 main ones. If you go to your job centre and ask what you can apply for, what's out there, what help you can get, then these are the ones that they are going to tell you about. To get help and support with any of these, contact your local job centre, contact your local council and see if there's any help. There's also help online as well, so I found some help on the Scope website. There is a lot of people on there that are experts in what they do, and they know a lot about the benefit system, how to apply. There are people on there that regularly advocate for people and things like that. So also go on the Scope website. There's a community on there that is very welcoming and great to be a part of. Even if you don't need help with any of these, go join Scope, because it's free service, it's community, and it's helpful. So I hope this video was of some help to even just one person out there, because I know this was a hard process for me personally, because I didn't have any of this information when my life was basically turned upside down at the end of last year. I didn't have this information, I didn't have any help, and I didn't know where to start. Luckily I lived down the road from a job centre, so I just went in there, and I was very lucky that they were extremely helpful, and they've helped me with all these different processes. If you feel like somebody isn't being helpful, ask to speak to somebody else. It may come across rude, but who cares? You need to get the help that you are entitled to, and if you really need help, then you need help, and they have a right to supply that help to you. So I hope this video was of help to somebody out there. If there's anything that you guys would like to see covered, if there's a lack of information out there, I would like to provide more information on it. So feel free to comment below about what types of videos you like to see, what type of content you like to see covered, and I'll do my best to get videos out there on what you guys actually want to see. That's it for me now. I shall see you back to normal on Wednesday, now that my life is getting more sorted out, and I'll explain in the Wednesday vlog exactly what has been happening this past week with me. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.